Okay, good morning. It is Tuesday, April 13th. Let's jump over and look at the S&P 500 and let's just do real quick, bring you back up to speed here, what happened. Yesterday we said 22 quarter. If they took that out, which this first push got to 22 quarter to the tick, and then into the close they did break that up here to 24.50. And then what happened next here is we were looking for a little bit higher push. So we have this CP up here at 28, got this push to 27. And then I believe there was some news about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine causing blood clotting, and the FDA and the CDC, and probably some other three-letter agencies that I'm not thinking of, said that we should put that on hold, but we still have two other vaccines that are approved for use. So I'm not sure. This might have just been kind of an initial emotional reaction to that, and the buyers kind of came right back in here. But broken is broken, and we did break down. I mean, there's really there's no two ways about that. Now, we've broken down a number of times since in the last couple of weeks, but we've been extremely lenient with it and we've given it a lot of room of what we said was an actual breakdown. So let me talk you through a couple of things here this morning of what would need to happen. So this area right, and again, we're going to talk about the morning, okay? So this area right here is going to be relatively important. Let's call it this 21 to, yeah, 21 quarter. So maybe this would be like a really small head and shoulders. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Possible that could hold up. It is possible they could come up a bit higher, that 22 half, 23 area, something like that. Of course, we have the KP here, that's a 24 quarter. I know that's a bit going on there, but just kind of the way that it is here. So, all right, so let me show you something right here. So this, where is that? So 430 to 820. Okay, so here's something you can do that you can draw on here. So this is 4:30 Pacific time. You can go find that candle and find this KP, and then that from 4:30 until about, let's say, 8:16, 17, something like that. You can draw that in across there. So from 4:30 to 8:15 or so Pacific time. Draw a little trend line like that between these prediction points. That needs to get taken out. Okay? And then if that gets taken out, that could be a new all-time high, just depending on how that ends up going. Let's see. So then let's draw one other thing here that I want to show you in here. So then we want to go back to yesterday. So if we go to yesterday and let's find, let's see, let's take from right here. So at 12, we'll go 1240 yesterday to around 1235 this morning. And I'm using NinjaTrader, so I'm going to do F3 so that this continues to keep going. So I'm going to go 1240 and draw from there, and then I'm going to draw this to around 12:35 last night Pacific time. and then I did a ray so that it's going to keep going. Okay, so let me show you something. This needs to get taken out. And if they can take this out, this 30, 31, kind of depending on when it's going to end up being there, if they can take that out, then we've got some room to run. You can see we've got key turns up here, 40 quarter, we've got 42, we've got this other key turns level up at 45. If you're not familiar with key turns, that's okay. That's a proprietary indicator that we have at Daytrade Like a Pro. We've got 51 quarter. What I would expect is that depending on the timing, uh, let's put it like this. If we don't break it, if they break out here, there's a lot of room to run higher. A lot of room. As long as it's showing strength, we've got room to run. I don't know how much of that we'll get today, but there's room. Let's say 45 would be the minimum, and there's more room to go. So something you could, so let me show you one other thing, and I know the market's going to open here in just a minute. So let's take this from 325 this morning, and actually we'll just do it from here. So let's take it from this KP. So that's 450 to um, yeah, 450 to after the close. Okay, so right here you can actually do, so 450, let's take this one, 450 Pacific time, and then we're going to go to 140 actually and draw it over here. This will give you an idea of a target up here. So we've been working on some stuff with prediction points that basically, you've seen how I draw the fibs in there. Well, what these do is it takes a time-based approach. So it splits the prediction point from here to here, and then you can see there's this slope right here. So basically, this would be sort of the minimum target up above this one, and you can see that's some pretty decent room, and it's moving up there a bit over time. Okay, but absolutely has to break out up above here for that to happen. Okay, if let's talk about I don't really want to call it a pullback because we technically did break. The market's kind of hanging on here. Let's see what can happen. So I don't necessarily love anything in this area down here. This 1075, maybe that's, the midpoint to go back up higher. If this was a demand area, they came back into that demand area and bought it already. So you could easily see back into here that, let's say, 12 quarter area, you could see back into there, but then somewhere between 12 quarter and 09 half, something like that, having that hold up in there, ideally for any higher. But the reality is that we did, in fact, break low enough overnight and would need to come back up and take out this. And to me, there's only about 10 points of room. If I'm buying here, there's only about 10 points of room. So it doesn't mean that you couldn't play it that way, and it doesn't mean that you couldn't try it short up in here and that you couldn't try it long from down in here. Just got to know what you're dealing with right now. If that were to happen, you have the CP down here at 93, and that's probably not enough. I mean, that's probably not low enough. So let me show you one other thing here. So if we take this from, so let me make this a little bit smaller. So we're going to go from here. We're going to draw this from, this goes from 10, so let's go 10, 15. Okay, so this is selling a bit. We can do a ray if you want to do that. So from this CP, let's go at 10:15 Pacific time. and then draw up to this one at, let me see. So about one right here. Oh, that's actually, sorry, let's adjust this off of. So you can do that, and then you can extend this. Oh no, we can't extend that left. All right, well, so what I'm going to do then is I'll bring it down here off of the KP, and that starts basically just after the Globex open. That's at like 1535. Okay, that would be sort of the minimum. So if you look here, let me show you this just to paint the bigger picture here. Unless they get back up above here, this 30 area, and hold with strength, this is the target. And obviously that moves up over time. So that's the target. So we have a target up here that was not fulfilled yet, and then we could come back down to here. So need to break out up above here to go higher. Can come back down to here. And yes, we have all these prediction points in between here, but this and this are going to be the two most important things today. Just how it is here today. And I know that's a huge, huge gap, and that's just how it is. Okay. So below that, let's watch the 74 area, and we had the KPs at 73 half, but 74, 73 half. Below that, things start to open up a bit more, and let's see. So I'll just tell you what I have down here. So the 60 area is something I'd pay attention to. Just kind of depends on what the timing is of how that all goes. So I'd watch this 65, 60, and then if things got ugly, down into that 45 range. So there you have it for today. I'm looking for if there's not, I mean, the honest truth of how I would trade, I generally am going to leave a lot of this alone in here. If I find the market starts running really clean and smooth off of the prediction points, then I'll look for a trade. Otherwise, I'm basically going to wait until we come into one of these levels that I want to be short, and I'll try it short there with small risk, a point or two, something like that. I want to see a pretty immediate reaction. I want to see the sellers really step in and start pushing it down. Otherwise, I want to see a breakout up above here, and then I want to see a pullback, and then likely um, I'd like to hold, if they could break up above here, I'd like to come back and hold this 22 area, something right around there. And I say that because it's been a fairly major factor as we've got along. So it'd be nice to come up and at the worst case come back and hold that 22 area. Maybe we probe to here. Um, I guess outside chance of here, but less than ideal at that point. So there you have it. Hopefully that's helpful and gives you an idea. For me, this is probably a no, personally, the way I trade, this is a no trade area for me unless we break out up above here. Until we break out above here, I'll be short up to here. And then I'll be looking for a buy down lower, what we talked about. And then and in here, I'm really probably just leaving it alone. So if they break out, then I'll be looking for a buy on a pullback. But if they don't break out, then I'll be looking to short it for a move down. If they break out, I'll be looking to buy it for a move up. The rest of this, I'm probably leaving all that alone. And that's how I'm going to handle it personally. That's what my approach is and what's worked for me. So I will be back here doing the review today. Good luck trading. Take it step by step. Just go with what the market gives us, and I'll see you in the review today.